Hello and welcome. This is my design for a very simple, very silent super smelter. And as you can see, the design is very simple, there's not much to it. It's expandable from anywhere between 1 and 15 furnaces. And it's simple enough that anybody could remember how to build it after they've watched the video a couple of times. So let's have a quick look through the parts. We have our furnaces and a line of hoppers leading under the furnaces back to our output. We have a line of hoppers from our input ore along and our input fuel along. We have a regulating clock for the feed hoppers for both the fuel and the ore. This makes sure that whenever the feed hoppers are stopped, there's exactly one item in each feed hopper. We have the item at end detector, where once an item hits this bucket, the hoppers underneath the feed line will be opened for exactly 5 ticks, allowing the item to feed out. And finally we have our lock hoppers, where if the line under the feed line is turned off and is taking items, it locks this hopper here so that no more items can come into the feed line, ensuring that, once however long it takes to take the item out of the feed line, that's how long it'll be before any more items are fed into the feed line. And that's basically all the components. So let's have a go at building this. So over here I've prepared a place to build another super smelter. Basically in this smelter I've put the chests in, but I haven't hooked up anything yet. So let's get our items and make a start. As you can see, it's a little bit expensive on the hoppers. This is a sacrifice we make by not using minecarts. However, unlike minecarts, you're not going to hear that minecart sound going backwards and forwards. And you don't have to worry about any entity despawning through block loading or anything like that. Let's start from our feed line from the output of the furnaces into our output chest. So we're just going to come over here and put some droppers in under the chests. 1, 2, 3. And then we're going to put some blocks next to them. I'm going to put a target block here. And then however long it takes to get up the dropper tower, we'll add some more blocks. We're going to add a repeater here, and then a comparator here. Comparator needs to be in subtract mode, and we'll put some blocks here and here as well. Then we'll just get some dust, and add some dust here and here. This means that when items come into this, that will now run a clock, taking items out of here for every item that comes in. So we just need to get our observers now. And the first observer looks at this repeater, and so on and so forth up. And then we just place our other repeaters to go into our droppers. I'm just going to make sure I get that right. There we go, into the droppers, or rather into next to the droppers. And we just grab some items, so these very handy ingots that happen to be there, and put them into the hopper. See, they feed in, not getting any noise, but they're still coming up here quite quickly. So this is our silent item elevator. Let's make the rest of our line. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Now you don't have to build at 15. You can build it shorter than 15. You just can't build it longer than 15 because of the limits of the redstone signal. Now, of course, I'm not using up my items as I do this because I'm in creative mode. Okay, so once we've got our furnaces and our bottom line, we can add the lines for putting the ore in and the smeltable items. So we'll just do that quickly on the top. And then finally we can start working on our feed lines. So the last item we'll use barrels, because we're not going to push them anywhere from here. And then we'll add some more hoppers coming along. making sure to hold shift to have each hopper point into the next hopper. We just come one further over from the end. Now you can make this shorter than 15. You can also have all of these chests sit a little bit further up. I'm just going to put a little barrel here and here. That's just sort of a holding area for the items that come out of these chests. There we go. That's all our hoppers in place for the feed lines and the fuel. So now we just need to put our lock lines in. So we'll switch over to our orange wall. So first we need to put some blocks over in front of these hoppers so that we can lock them. And we'll do the same over here for these bottom lines of hoppers. I'm just going to grab some slabs. We'll just go 1, 2, put a compounder and a barrel, and we just need to put one item in the barrel, doesn't really matter what. And we put that compounder in subtract mode, and then we do the same on the other side. So 1, 2, compounder in subtract mode, barrel with one item. So that's our lock lines done. Now we need to do our swap over lines. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Put some comparators in to detect when items get to the end. And then we put some target blocks over here, and some dust here and here. Then we get our torches. Put the torches here, so this is going to what's locked the fuel line and what locks the smeltable item line. Then we're going to put a repeater here and put them both to 3 ticks. Then we're going to get some wall blocks. They don't have to be wall, it can just be any solid block that's non-transparent that takes a redstone signal. And we also put one here to cut the signal so that we don't get any leakage between these two circuits. And that's that done. And now we just have to put in the clock. So barrel here, again with one item in it. Compounder in subtract mode, repeater on 1 tick, and then a block at the end. And now we put our line for running feed lines. Hold shift to put a bit of redstone on that barrel, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, and that's basically it. We're built. As you can see, looks pretty much the same. So let's test it out. Here I've got 15 coal and 120 iron. This is because it's an 8-to-1 ratio of coal to iron. So we'll just put our coal in here, put our iron in here. And if we just come over to the front of our furnaces, we'll see they'll all turn on at once. There they go. We've got exactly 1 iron in each furnace, although it's about to be 2. There it is, because it's just come out to the second light and then back down to 1. It's melting perfectly evenly. No noise except for the furnaces running. And there's our first lot of iron coming back up. Now what we can do, if we want to make it just a little bit fancier, we can swap this block out for a lamp, and then this way every time some iron is coming into the chest we get a visual signal just to let us know that it's working. So that was my design for a perfectly silent super smelter. That's pretty easy to build. This one goes up to 15 furnaces. If you do want to have more furnaces in a line for a silent super smelter, I do have another design on my channel. However, it is a little bit more complicated to build. Thank you for watching.